Good afternoon. I'm Gerald Suarez, and I'm with the University of Maryland. And I miss Ross very much. I met Ross first via a letter when I started my career with the Department of the Navy in San Diego, California. And we reached out to several scholars in the United States, and we were exploring research in system thinking. And Ross was the first one to respond. It was almost a sense of urgency because his reply came very early. I'll never forget that letter as I was working as a research assistant. It's a letter that I am convinced that he typed personally because he was very efficient, not only with the amount of paper he used, but with the number of words. It read like this: your concept of systems is exactly wrong. Comma, it is nonsense. Period. I cannot help you. But his empathy showed up. Sorry, Ross. Years later, I joined the Clinton White House, and I only knew enough to know that it was a mess. We needed help. And I turned out to Ross for help. I rehearsed that phone call. I finally placed it. He was gracious enough to invite me to interact at the time. He was intrigued by the challenges that we faced. And for those of you who wonder, how did Ross behave in the corridors of power? The answer is simple. He didn't. Profanity was flowing in his lectures, as he typically did, because he told me they deserved it. He won arguments with the White House decision on why the appendix is not part of the human body. He was lecturing one day, and there were connecting doors to another room in the White House. He was upset because there was commotion in the other room, too much noise coming from next door. He opened the door, and he simply, vintage Ross says, "Shut up! I'm lecturing over here." And he slammed the door. We took a break, and the event next door was over. First Lady of the United States comes out. She waves at Ross. And Ross looks at me and says, "Was she the one getting the crowd excited next door?" I said, "Yes, Ross." He says, "I took a big gamble, didn't I?" It's funny now. I cannot tell you how painful it actually was. He convinced me of the fact that the White House is perhaps the strongest symbol of democracy in the world. But it is run autocratically. And he said we have got to bring the democratic corporation and mindset into this institution. And I agreed. So we started lecturing on the democratic corporation. And the resistance was incredible. And one day the top brass of the military put me aside in the narrow hallways of the East Wing bunker. And they said to me, "You seem to be a reasonable guy. But there's something that you and Dr. Ackoff do not understand. And we want you to relay the message to him." Because nobody wanted to deal with him directly. Because we want you to tell Dr. Ackoff that we are here to protect democracy, not to practice it. As we reflect on Ross, I realized that Ross was never about yesterday and how much we did. Ross was always about today and how much we can do to build a greater tomorrow. He always told me that what happens between now and then, the future, mostly depends on what we do between now and then. It's about figuring out what is it that we want to create. And then go ahead and pursue desirable yet uncertain goals and aspirations, because we are convinced that we can learn and adapt along the way to approximate them. Coming here today is such an emotional new beginning. Working together will be progress. Shaping the future will be success. Ross once said, "I would like to redesign the whole universe, but I haven't found a client yet." And I know that wherever he's at right now, he's probably doing just that. Thank you, Ross, for all the learning, for all the memories. I miss you so much.